Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a massive issue, the mechanics behind the middle-class money trap. We're going to figure out why so many people, despite doing everything right by traditional standards, are still stressed out and completely broke. So let's dive right into some numbers to set the stage.
So picture this, you're pulling in $70,000 a year. For a lot of folks, that's a huge, respectable milestone. You went to school, you worked incredibly hard, and you landed a solid job to hit that level.
Or maybe you've hustled your way even higher up the corporate ladder, earning $100,000 a year. 6 figures. That's essentially the classic American dream income right there.
Or let's say you're highly specialized and you're making $150,000 a year. At this point, you're absolutely in the upper percentiles of earners. You're crushing it. And yet,
Somehow, despite these amazing numbers, you are still living completely paycheck to paycheck. No real wealth, just bigger bills, larger loans, and a whole lot more stress keeping you up at 3 a.m. Meanwhile, you probably know a guy making half what you do who's quietly becoming a millionaire. And that brings us to the core problem we're exploring today. A high income simply doesn't equal wealth. Your choices do.
All right, let's jump into Section 1, the income illusion.
The absolute biggest trap keeping millions of people stuck is this grand illusion that a high paycheck automatically makes you rich. The real culprit here? Lifestyle inflation. This is that incredibly sneaky, dangerous habit where your expenses just magically grow right alongside your income. You get a raise at work, so boom, you lease a much nicer car. You get that holiday bonus, and suddenly you're booking a luxury vacation. Instead of buying assets that actually put money into their pockets, people buy liabilities that suck money right back out. And that, right there, is exactly how the trap snaps shut.
Moving right along to Section 2, avoiding the money traps.
Because remember, it's really not about what you make, it's about what you keep. Let's compare two completely different paths. First, we have John. John earns a fantastic $80,000 a year, but he spends all of it on liabilities. A luxury SUV, a bigger house, pricey furniture, and those lavish vacations. Then we have Mike. Now Mike earns way less, only $50,000 a year. But Mike uses his money differently. He quietly buys index funds, books to learn new skills, and stocks. Fast forward 5 years, John is still sweating over his monthly payments, owing the bank a small fortune for all his shiny things. Mike? He owns assets that keep growing in the background while he's literally sleeping. So who's actually richer here? The huge takeaway is this. A big income might impress people at a dinner party, but assets are what actually buy your freedom.
Which brings us to Section 3, the house myth.
It's time to debunk a massive, society-wide financial norm. My house is my biggest investment. We have all heard this, right? It's basically hammered into us from day one that buying a primary residence is the safest, ultimate investment you can possibly make. It is the cornerstone of the middle-class dream. And sure, over a long enough timeline, sometimes that holds true, but definitely not always.
Because we really have to consider the hidden costs. The mortgage, the property taxes, the insurance, the endless maintenance. We all know the absolute pain of a water heater blowing up or a roof suddenly needing replacement. If your house is just draining your cash every single month, strictly speaking from a financial perspective, it's a liability. It takes money out of your pocket. It doesn't put it in.
Real wealth actually comes from owning things that pay you on a regular, predictable basis. We're talking about assets that generate steady cash flow, rental properties, businesses, stocks, and dividend investments. Your ultimate goal in life really shouldn't be to just own a bunch of expensive things. Your goal should be to own things that literally pay you to own them.
All right, let's look at Section 4, the true wealth formula.
Now that we've kind of shaken up those old preconceived notions, let's talk solutions. Let's map out the standard middle-class money trap step by step. Step 1, you get your income. Step 2, you spend it on your lifestyle. Step 3, you spend a little bit more on credit. Step 4, you pay your mandatory bills. And then Step 5, you just cross your fingers and hope something is left over to save. But let's be totally honest, usually there is literally nothing left. It is a guaranteed formula for perpetual financial stress.
Now, let's look at how the wealthy flip this script entirely upside down. Notice the massive shift here. Step 1, income comes in. Step 2, you pay yourself first. This is absolutely non-negotiable. Step 3, you invest that money. Step 4, you put a chunk into savings. And only then, at Step 5, do you spend whatever is left over on your lifestyle. The difference between wealthy folks and everyone else isn't about being a genius, it's purely about priorities.
The absolute secret of the top 1% is prioritizing cash flow over expensive status symbols. They are hyper-focused on acquiring assets like businesses, stocks, rental properties, royalties, and intellectual property. They're essentially building a machine that will keep making them money for years, making sure their money works way harder than they do.
And finally, Section 5, your action plan.
So how do you practically apply all of this starting today? Well, here is your 5-step action plan to break away from the pack. First, track every single dollar you spend for the next 30 days. I promise you, you will be shocked at where it all goes. Second, cancel those random subscriptions you forgot you even had. Third, auto-invest a piece of every paycheck. Even if it's just $100, automate it so it happens invisibly. Fourth, keep learning valuable skills that boost your earning power. And fifth, the golden rule, firmly cap your lifestyle inflation. Never ever let your lifestyle grow faster than your investments. Do this consistently, and your financial life will completely transform.
Because, being middle class isn't actually the problem. Remaining financially stuck is the problem. And the really great news is, you absolutely do not need $1 million salary to fix this. You just need better habits. Rich people don't get wealthy just because they earn more. They get wealthy because they manage their money in a completely different way.
So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with one really provocative thought. The very next time you're about to swipe your credit card for a purchase, I want you to stop and ask yourself this one simple habit-changing question. The exact question the wealthy ask every single time. Will this make me richer or poorer? It's super simple, but if you answer it honestly, it might just change your entire financial future. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep investing, and I'll catch you next time.